guys? Welcome to another episode of Second Guessing with Stress, and I'm your host, Garret Williams, aka Texans Commenter. Sorry for the delay. I'm switching back over to StreamYard. I've been using Restream, and I was trying to set up TikTok, which is not set up on here. But for those of you that are listening live on X, YouTube, Facebook, obviously you can comment like always in the chat, and it'll show up on the screen here. So appreciate you guys tuning in. But if you're on Instagram, you can still comment. I'll try and check the comments in my browser over here. It may be hard to get to those. Obviously, TikTok is not on here, but I also created a Twitch. If anybody prefers Twitch, which is at Texans Commenter on Twitch. So I don't really use Twitch, but it's the same thing. And then I'll be looking to start a Discord as well pretty soon. I know there's several out there, but I have a big idea. I have a website, obviously, HoustonStressans.com, and I'm starting to make an app where I can just kind of all encompass everything into one. And that is, I have a Discord on my site. It's called a Discord. It's a forum, but I'm thinking about putting that into the app and then eventually just, launching it soon and then launching it with the idea of like, I will continue to update it. But just to try and make it easy where everything's in one place for you guys. So, and obviously too, we'll reshare this if you miss anything on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It is Second Guessing with Stressan. And if you don't already subscribe, please do on both, even if you don't use them. And please leave a 5-star review. That will help. And if you're on YouTube, if you like and, subscribe, obviously there, that'll be a huge help as well. But shout out King Colby. He says, you blessing or stressing? I am stressing. I'm stressing. Just like any other time. I mean, this is what the Texans do to us, man. They got us. We have these, we have an elite defense, and then we have offensive terrible performances, a couple of good ones against bad defenses. And they kind of bring you back in and bring you back down. But like y'all know me, I'm an eternal optimist. And I don't know if y'all watched, but I live streamed the game, which was dope. I had no idea how that would go. It was a last-second decision on my end because it was a late-night game because my girls were asleep, and I was able to partner up with Assist, a company to where you can sync up the time. So it was cool. It was like we were hanging out. I didn't know how it would work, and it seemed like most of you guys kind of just had me like on a tablet or computer or other TV, and we're kind of watching both. And it's like we were hanging out, and it was dope. I mean, I had a bunch of people. I think it was like 10,000 total on most of this, and then TikTok had like another 8,000 people, which is why I'm trying to get TikTok back involved because it's a big thing. So I may have to switch back to Restream if this doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So but yeah, so the live was dope, but I mean, y'all saw me like I'm positive, and I'm also someone like I don't like to be critical of others unless I really have to, especially like on a post. But like live, you got to see me raw, like real passionate. That's kind of how I am doing what I'm doing because I love this shit, So like, but now if you see me watching a game, even though it's just me and talking to y'all, I'm sure that's how all of us are. Like you're amped, you can't help. I apologize. There was an effusive amount of profanity. I'll curse even when I'm excited, but even more so when I'm upset. And there was a lot of stress and upset moments. So, but y'all saw we were all stressing during the game. Man, it was rough. I feel like every primetime game we play, we just lay an egg, and just, used to, I guess a couple days ago, get mad that we wouldn't get any respect in the national media. I get it. I wouldn't respect the Texans if I was a fan of another team and I turned them on every time on primetime and saw that every time. Like, this is disgusting. So, I mean, I totally get it. Now I'm not going to be begging for sympathy. But over on IG, we got Jacada, my guy, says the Texans and this damn New England tree needs to end and never come back. Facts. Isaac Brown, yo, real quick, what are your thoughts on changing OC? I'm not there yet. I'll dive into it. HDZ Dustin, yo, what's good, my man? Also, I'm losing my mind with this offense. That's all of us, man. So shout out those on Instagram. Comments on here on the main stream, which are on the screen there. Shout out Chris, says Stressan. Facts, that's all of us. Caleb says Noel and Higgins season. Yep. So injury report. Obviously, Christian Kirk missed last game again with the hamstring. I was high on that signing, and I think he's good when he plays. But even when he did play, he was kind of underwhelming, and maybe he was adjusting. It's just constant excuses. Like, oh, well, they need time. They need time. Well, we're in freaking week 8. Like, okay, like, yes, we need time to learn this offense. Yes, we need time to get on the same page with the receivers. Yes, we needed time for C to learn how to ID the mic and do blitzes and do hot routes and everyone do the same thing. But like, what are we doing? Like it's been going on for forever. So, but I think the only comments that I'm getting are from YouTube. That's kind of a bummer. So you can't post comments to some destinations. Give me 1 second here. Platform X, YouTube, Twitch. Okay. Well, I mean, if you're on X or Facebook or X or Facebook, see if you can comment on there. Because right now I'm only seeing YouTube, which is fine. And honestly, I prefer most people to go on YouTube. I'm working on getting monetized there finally. And so if that's the case, I would prefer people to funnel there. But hey, I mean, stay on whichever app or deal is best for you. So, I mean, I see that X is connected on my profile. Let me see here. X says it's connected. Let me refresh this real quick. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I see, 140 on X. So if you can't comment on X, let me know. If there's a way to let me know. I'm hoping it's not showing the comments from X. It says chat platform support, read post. They're not allowed to post. Is that just part of? Is that this restreams or man? I'm gonna have to go back to restream. That's whack. And so right now you can only comment to me if you do it on YouTube is the way it seems. So, or you know what? I'll pull up a browser with X. And if you want to comment on X, I'll just have another window. I'm having to adapt and adjust. Look at that. You guys ever heard of those two key buzzwords? Look at me adapting and adjusting. I went to a new software. I got a game plan from the opponent that I wasn't expecting. And rather than just keep doing what I'm doing and freak out and not do anything, I decided to, make something shake. And so that's something we, were promised we would do. We would have seen with Nick Caley. Again, we say this all the time on here. It's literally like all they talk about, when they fired. Okay, Facebook is working. Whenever they fired Bobby Slowick, it's because he didn't adapt and adjust. And then as far as, Nick Caley, we hired him because he can adapt and adjust. And, like they've made it clear the way they want to run their offense is a physical smash mouth, run the ball offense. But at the same time, they said we can adapt. That's just our core identity. We can still adapt what we want to do around our personnel. So our O-line, if they're not bruisers at run blocking, our receivers, if they're not bruisers at run blocking, our quarterback, if he's more of a, quick game spread quarterback, we're still, so it's very contradictory. And then, so we haven't really adjusted, the run game has worked, but it's worked against two putrid defenses, two putrid run defenses, Titans, Ravens, like top 5 worst in the league, those two teams. And it's been okay against some average ones and bad against good ones. And obviously the Seahawks are elite. And that's why that game to me was going to be a troublesome game to begin with. And it was about as bad as it could go. But point being is, we were told that he was going to adapt and adjust. Kind of did it a little bit with the offense. Like the run scheme, gap duo scheme is more suitable to our O-line as opposed to more wide zone. But and going into that game too, like I wrote in my article, like, there's like, I say things that I think will happen and what they will do based off of what they say. Like they kind of let you know what they want to do. And so, but then I also like, I need to be very deliberate now going forward of like, this is what I think they will do. This is what I think they should do. Two separate things. But like, I've done a bad job of like buying into their stuff and believing that what they say is the best and only way, and then like gets taken as like that's my philosophy, and a lot of time it's dog shit. Like same thing with the draft. Like I wrote extensive articles. I used deductive reasoning. I went from what was our worst point of our team last year? Okay, it was the O-line. Okay, what part of the line? Okay, it was the interior. Okay, we traded Tunsil. Okay, so now We still have tackles on the roster. What's the most important position? Okay, we had 2 guards that were the worst in the league, and interior pressure is much more detrimental than exterior pressure. We saw that they would come up the middle unblocked. And so, okay, we should address our biggest need, which Nick Caserio doesn't, honest to God, know what a need is. So my logic going into the draft was like very simple, deductive reasoning. And let's address this issue. Defense, elite. Stroud, he's a great quarterback, especially if you give him protection. That's really all he needs. And he's shown you with decent, not even just average or below average protection, what he can do. Let's just get it to average, please. And, you roll the dice and you don't sign one in free agency and you trade your left tackle. Like, oh, damn, you should have done. Okay, cool. There's still the draft. And then the draft, like, to me, tackle wasn't the priority. Like, you still had Cam Robinson, who you signed for $10 million. Yes, I know he's not good, but like, and then you went and doubled up and got another tackle. Like, yes, Ursari's doing decent for a rookie, but like, and then also the other thing too is Caserio does not believe in windows. Like he said, he's like, honest to God, like, I don't even know what a window is. Like, what's a window? A window is when you have a fucking quarterback on his rookie fucking contract before he's going to demand 50 or 60 million, which may not happen now because he looks like shit because of what you did. But a window is when you need to take advantage of your opportunity. When you took over the team, your little freaking pragmatic, penny pinching, extreme value, never overpay for anything, even if it's 1%, always on the margins, always trying to win like each individual deal is good in rebuild mode when you're stacking assets and over time. And you honestly got handed an easy deal when you had a team tank twice. And you got the trade to Sean. Rarely ever do you get a young quarterback just entering his prime, demanding a trade and having a scandal and all this shit go on and have 3-4 suitors all competing for him. Like, anybody could have fucking made that trade, bro. Like, I know people say, like, well, he made that trade. Like, that was fucking easy, dude. And honestly, he probably could have got fucking more out of that trade. And then, yeah, you can give him credit for the draft picks, but fuck, I mean, who can't fuck up the number 2 and number 3 overall pick when you need a quarterback? And after you just tank for 2 years, like, that is easy. And so, but like, the point is, like, yes, your process worked for that, stationary, that, time frame that this franchise was in. But now we're in contention mode. We're trying to win. You don't keep this same bullshit philosophy of extreme value process. Nope. Let me check my book. The computer process says nope. No, that guy's really good and we need that position. But no, we're just going to go for value, And he even said it in his video after the draft, after day 1, when he got asked a bunch of valid fucking questions. After day 2, hey, why didn't you draft a guard? Why did you draft receivers? And he's like, well, I don't know what a need is, honest to God, like, and he's like, obviously fucking gaslighting, like being condescending and an asshole. And then just every time he's asked questions about the O-line and their fucking very arrogant and very irresponsible approach by having multiple ways of which you could go about it. Like, you trade LT, cool. All right. Like, obviously it sucks to go trade your fucking best O-lineman, but like, okay, I saw it out. Okay, money is the biggest thing. Okay, you got off of that. And so now you have more money to spend. And then you get more extra draft capital. Okay, you get that. Now reinvest it back into the fucking thing that you depleted. You know what? No, fuck that. We're going to go bargain barrel shopping and just sign a bunch of veteran O-linemen. Trent Brown, haven't even seen him. Cam Robinson, cut. We got Ed Ingram. He's been great. We'll give you that. Okay. Laken Tomlinson hasn't been good. So, like, those are the guys that you sign. That's what you replace it with. And then the draft, you trade back. You trade back and then draft a lineman, a left tackle. When you had 4 or 5 tackles on the roster, you had Titus, you had Blake, who obviously isn't playing as good, but you fucking picked him in the second last year. And then you had Cam and you had Trent Brown. You had already had 4 tackles. So I still never understood that logic. So that's what I'm trying to say is I need to be careful about saying what I think they should do and what they do. So like, I had that whole thing of like my approach and plan. And then like also too, like after the fact, when they did do what they did and it was different from me, I felt like I had to admit I was wrong. Just because what I thought they should do and what they did was different doesn't mean I'm wrong or they're wrong. And so like, I need to be like, okay. So I kind of like, oh, I'm wrong. You should draft BPA, but just because they did it doesn't mean it's right. Like, and BPA to me, yeah, that's good long-term. And he's thinking long-term, which is good, but there has to be a mix. Like at a certain point, you have to use fucking intuition and common sense. Like, at what point do you say, like, hey, should I draft another receiver? And first off, Jaden Higgins, love him, but he's an X receiver. And you have Nico Collins, one of the premier X receivers. So that's redundancy right there. You could have traded up or gotten plenty of guards who are doing well, where we need a fucking guard right now. And then obviously Jalen Noel, okay, cool. You need a slot receiver, but then you had just signed Kirk, but obviously he gets hurt, but like you did need depth. So like that was our argument. Like, well, we needed depth. Well, we need fucking O-linemen, bro. Like, and yes, you can argue, okay, rookie O-linemen don't come off the bat good. Well, then why didn't the fuck you do it in free agency? You had plenty. People want to say, well, there wasn't any good guys in free agency. Yes, the fuck there was. And there was a plenty of them that were decent money-wise and plenty of them that were better than what we got, besides Ed Ingram, but like left guard I'm talking about. So it's just that's just my rant on that. So like coming out of the game, this is the same thing that I did on here when we were 0-3. You know, a lot of talk about OC, people talk about D'Amico. To me, the hottest seat is Nick Caserio, and it's specifically because of what I just said about the O-line. Like, the way you chose to address that is just malpractice. It's reckless. Like, and, you know, it could right the ship, and maybe the O-line isn't as bad as we think, which we'll dive into that here. But it just like at the very worst, like, which they don't give a shit, but like you're showing like you don't fucking care. And his whole logic is, you know, we just draft best player available. It's off of our grades. And he emphasizes culture too. So basically, which is very fucking weird, which I am a proponent of, like the swarm culture, good guy. It seems to have worked, but like they won't draft anybody with any character concerns. But then in free agency, I guess you have more freedom, but like they kick the tires, roll the dice on character guys all the time in free agency. I guess it's harder to do it with the draft guy because you would have to trade him. You can't really just cut him and get rid of him. But, you know, those are the factors that you're doing. And, you know, like I've been saying, though, like he doesn't believe in needs, and he doesn't believe in windows. Two very bad things. Like, so we want to win now. Obviously, they don't want to fucking win now. At least the philosophy that Caserio does. He just wants to, you know, go by the book, you know. And then like the thing with that too is like he says, "Well, take the best player," and he said like it's up to the coaches to figure it out. Okay, so most offenses run with a certain different myriad of skill sets, but he's saying, "Fuck it. If it says to draft 4X receivers, I'm gonna do it. Fucking figure it out. Change your whole offense around this bullshit fucking imbalance." Like no, like, and so you're seeing it now. Like again, the separation with the receivers, yeah, because we have so many X receivers. We have X receivers and slot receivers. We have big, tall, fast guys and little, short, quick guys. We have no in between, like Z receivers, like Justin Jefferson, like Jamar Chase, guys that are kind of big, but also quick and fast. Like there's no mix up. So that's my hottest seat is Nick Caserio. And then from there, Nick Caley, you know, obviously y'all have known that like I was, again, I didn't want to hire him. And then, you know, I went off of just like the drafts, what I thought they should do, and then what they did. I thought they should have gotten more of a spread type OC. Chip Kelly's my number one. I know he's been terrible. I can give y'all that, but I can also argue like different scenario, and then also would have been different with CJ. Would have ran the same fucking offense he ran in college. Yeah, no fucking shit. Same verbiage. You know, he was there with Ryan Day. So he didn't play for Chip, but Chip knows him, and he could talk to Ryan Day and run what he ran that got him drafted number 2 overall. But still, let's just say Chip Kelly bad. Okay, my next one was Doug Peterson and Mike McCarthy. To me, all three of those are experienced. That was a big checkbox for me. I want an experienced, proven play caller. I want a guy who can spread and adapt and fit our skill sets. CJ Stroud mostly. And to me, a spread, and you don't have to run it 24/7, obviously. Like in the NFL, you can change it, but like, you know, doing that can help you with protection. Like a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, well, how the fuck are we going to block? That's the whole fucking point of a spread and tempo offense. You spread it out. You get people out of the fucking box so they don't come in and blitz your ass instead of these fucking condensed formations where you bring in 8, 9, 10 people in the box and they just blitz, and you don't know what to fucking do. It's untouched. You spread them out, get them out of the fucking box. Now you can run it. Or if they do blitz, there's a lot of space between the nickel and the line of scrimmage. Either one, he shows you earlier, hey, that guy's blitzing. Hey, just turn around, boom, pass. or you just see it and then the guy's there. And so like when you have these condensed formations, it's bullshit. So kind of lost my train of thought there, but yeah, so like that's why I wanted those kind of OCs, was because of that. So just because it's a spread tempo offense, it doesn't mean that, you know, you have to have the O-line. Like that's the whole reason colleges have spread offenses, because their O-lines suck. And so after that, you know, so after that, like those are my top three, and then Kaylee I had like at 4. And so again, like I do this all the time. Like I have a stern opinion, they do it different. I internally think, oh, I'm a fucking idiot because I didn't guess what they were going to do and agree with what they're going to do. But again, in this instance too, I need to realize, hey, maybe what they decided to do wasn't the fucking best. And reasons why I was lower on Kaylee was, one, first time play caller, which, you know, everyone's a first time play caller. So, you know, maybe he will be fine, but he's definitely taking those lumps right now. He's definitely having his growing pains, figuring out. But guess what? We're in win fucking now mode. We can't afford that shit, dude. Just like we can't afford to rely on a rookie left tackle to carry the fucking water for us. It's not fucking fair to him. It's also really not fair to Kaylee. Say, hey, come in here and fucking figure this shit out for us, dude. But anyway, so yeah, so with Kaylee, that was my big thing. My big concern going into it was first time play caller. And then I was concerned about it being too close to the Shanahan scheme. And turns out it's New England scheme, which I thought would be better, where you give control. And, you know, there's a lot that goes into that, but like, I just can't, the offense to me, dude, it's like watching that game and just so far this year, like no fucking rhythm. Like they've had a couple drives here and there, like getting momentum, good play. It's just like slow, muddy. Like I don't really know how to explain it. And like never on the same page. Like how many times do we have to see like a fucking miscommunication between Stroud and a receiver, whether it's his fault or the receivers? But so just to put a bow on the Kaylee part of it, you know, so I came around to it and saw what they're saying, adapt and adjust. And I just assumed like he would utilize, I thought he would have spread elements. I thought he would be able to run a spread offense. If not, I mean, obviously I would want him to do it a lot of the time, but worst case, a little bit of the time, which we don't see it hardly at all. And when I say spread, like NFL, like just run a fucking 2-minute offense more often than just the 2 minutes is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying fucking 5 wide air raid. You know, you see someone like Woody Marks. I'm like, oh shit, we got Woody Marks, best receiving back in the draft. He caught 82 fucking passes in 1 year at Mississippi State. I can't wait till this innovative OC we got that I'm hearing about adapting and adjusting to his personnel is going to put him at receiver. Oh, and the Patriots, you know, they would put guys at receiver like James White, Danny Woodhead, and they'd fucking run slants and get mismatches. I haven't seen none of that fucking shit. So, like, you put a big leap of faith into trying to piece it all together and what you hear, and then they come out there and they don't fucking do it. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing, dude? So, that's, and then like back to the Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins. Like, again, one, I thought you didn't believe in need, so you passed other positions to get them. Okay, fine. Well, now fucking play them. Play the motherfuckers, dude. What the fuck did you draft them for? We are in win fucking now mode. The season's about to be fucking over. We're 2-4 because you're too worried about veterans. You're too worried about the receivers fucking up. This is the NFL. These kids are grown fucking men. They're professionals. Make the offense easy for them to fucking learn. This shouldn't be an excuse. I've been, you know, parodying that because they say, and like, y'all chill out. Like they gotta, like I too often like take their words and their philosophy and like get on board with it and like forgive them and make excuses for them. Like I'm done fucking doing that shit. Like I'm going to speak my fucking mind on what I think no matter what, and whether it's right or wrong. But like, I'd rather do that than jump on board with their shit and then it fail. And then I look like a fucking idiot when they're the fucking idiots. So like, that's not an excuse. Like you draft these fucking receivers and you're supposed to adapt and adjust to your personnel. Like even Stroud talked about it, like with Higgins and Noel. He's like, yeah, it's tough for them to learn because, you know, this isn't like, you know, the air raid type stuff that they're used to. Well, then run the fucking air raid type stuff that they're used to. You drafted these fucking guys. Why would you draft them and try to make them do something else they're not fucking good at? Like, it makes no fucking sense. And it's directly opposite of what the fuck you said you would do. You said you would do this shit and you're not fucking doing it. Like, how hard is it? How hard is it? Like, you start with CJ. Like, hey, CJ, what do you like to run? Oh, you like more spread tempo. Okay, hey, All right, cool. What are some concepts? What are some plays? Hey, Jaden, what about you? Are you familiar with this? Okay, cool. All right, Jalen, what about you? Okay, hey, Nico, what about you? Like, nah, like, and that's the thing too, is we're told that he's collaborative, listens to them, takes their input, doesn't fucking feel like it. Like, maybe he is, but it sure as hell doesn't fucking feel like it. Like, it's the same shit. And then you have to question too, like, how much of this is D'Amico Ryans coming down as a overall philosophy as a defensive-minded head coach? You can't help but think that's part of it. And like, but he's like slowly realizing, like, hey, I need to fucking move on from this. One, because I don't have the offensive personnel to do this. And two, it's kind of fucking dumb. But like, I get it from a defensive-minded head coach perspective. You know, you want ball control. You can still do that through the other offense. It just looks different. Your run game is now quick game, screens. Like, it's just a different way of doing it. So, but yeah, so, but as far as Kaylee, just to put a bow on that, like, I'm not out on him. I'm not saying fire him. I know most people want him out. The biggest thing that is frustrating with him, besides all that stuff I just went into, is the short yardage plays. They're fucking terrible. I mean, you know, he had the blunders against the Bucks, which, you know, I roasted him on here for that. And, you know, I thought it was early, thought he'd learn. You go in the Titans game, you have multiple 3rd and short and 4th and short. D'Amico's mic'd up and he says, QB sneak it, QB sneak it. D'Amico's involved in the offense now, supposedly, because he, you know, gave away a defensive playing call. And he basically tells them, run the sneak. You fucking run it. It fucking works. We're all saying it. It's common sense. You need half a yard, 6 inches. You just fucking fall forward. Like, okay, even if their D-line is elite, how hard is it to go like this? That's literally a first down. Said hut. On the goal line, dude. It was this far. You could literally get the ball, take it out, and go like that and get a fucking touchdown. Instead, you want to take it out, or you want to get in shotgun, you want to throw it. Like, what the fuck are we doing, dude? So that's my biggest thing, is like the short yardage play calling. Like, okay, those plays might have worked, the run plays against a Baltimore depleted defense that's already terrible, and the O-line is, the D-line is, you know, depleted and injured. But you have to be aware, like the situational awareness, zero, nothing, terrible. Like, you know, I said in my preview article, like, going into the game, you know, you're playing an elite defense, an elite run defense, the best run defense in the league. And you know, you want to run the ball. Okay, cool. You know what? Let's try it. And then once it stops working, say fuck it and abandon it and run more outside or whatever it is, or just start throwing the ball. And when we did throw the ball, like, they kind of did it late because they were forced to, because we were down multiple scores. And guess what? We started fucking moving the ball. But then we would get into 3rd and short and 4th and short, and then we would freak out. You know, obviously the goal line is different, but the first one around midfield, we ran. The other part too is like situational awareness. 3rd and short, 4th and short, you want to run it, but you have Woody Markson, and he's not your power back. And obviously, I did like that they put him in more, because early on you could get a feel for the game and see Chubb's not really doing much. Okay, now put Woody in. He's got more juice, he's got more speed, and that worked a little bit better. But then now, if you're going to go 3rd and short, if you're going to run it, put fucking Chubb in the game, the power back. And then 2, don't run behind the guards that you're rotating, the guy that got fucking benched, the left guard, and your rookie left tackle, and do it twice in a fucking row. Instead, how about you run behind your right guard, who is supposedly from PFF, one of the best guards in the NFL, and Titus Howard, your veteran. Why don't you run it over there? Like, instead, like, what happened was Nick Caley got fucking worked by Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald, hats off to him. You know, a lot of talk going into the game, how elite he is. And, you know, I knew he was elite, but I thought it was being overhyped. And I started to have faith in Caley. Oh, he's got 15 days. McDonald's got, you know, a short week. You know, he's got an advantage. He'll come out and have a good game plan. He got fucking owned, bro. Like, I haven't finished the full all 22, but like, just through like watching a quarter and a half, you could literally see like the way that Mike Macdonald was making his play calls on defense. He knew what the fuck we were doing on every play. Like, if it was a run left, the D linemen, they were slanting right to the play side and then blitzing backside, and we just handed it off and we're fucked. And then when CJ threw it, like, they would bracket Nico. They knew we would go straight to Nico. And, you know, they were shutting down everything. They were making CJ Stroud think a lot. So, but yeah, so that being said, like, in that game, Kaylee got massively out-coached and out-schemed by Mike Macdonald. Short yardage, terrible. And we had more of the, you know, third and medium, third and shorts too, where and they're getting pressure on us, but we're running 2 and 3 man concepts way the fuck downfield with no options down below. But I'll get to Stroud too. I don't think he played good, and I'll be fair. Like, I'm about to be harsh on him. Like, he played terrible. I thought he played his worst game he's ever played in the NFL. But finishing up on Kaylee, all that being said, I don't say fire him right now. Can he improve? I don't know. My whole philosophy and logic with saying not fire him now is I don't know how much good it does, because no matter who you bring in, you're more than likely this year going to run the same scheme. And so, maybe you can have someone like Gerard maybe run within the same scheme, those set of plays, like the more tempo that work within the framework. But I don't know how much of that will work. And there is the part too of like, okay, like, yeah, I know it's bullshit, but like, you've been investing time and energy, like build this up, build this up, build this up. You don't want to just fucking abandon ship right away. I mean, there probably is a little bit of those feelings with Slowick, like great first year, down second year. You could make the argument like, hey, well, he was still just kind of getting his thing going. And right when he was maybe about to turn the corner, we don't know, we fucking fired him. It's like, I mean, I'm not saying that I do have those thoughts. Like, was he about to turn the corner? Like, you just invested all this time. Because I know the wide zone is very technical too. It takes time to build in the schematics and, the teaching of those players. So, so what I was going to say on that was, so we'll probably, I mean, I say leave Kaylee there, but like the offense too, like I think the Texans can still make the playoffs. Call me crazy. We're 2-4. This is a must-win game. I know we've been saying it all year, but this is a must-win game. But it's winnable. We'll dive into it. I haven't dove into it too much myself, honestly, personally yet. But they can still make playoffs. But I'm still going to look back to this game, to the Bucs game, to the Rams game. Even if somehow things turn around, like in the back of my mind, I say this now, but like I could change that. Y'all know how I am, but I'm going to try my best to remember, like, I know I saw some shit. I know I saw some bad shit, so like, I think they can, find a way to make the playoffs and maybe do the same shit we've done, maybe win a wild card game and be one and done. But regardless if they do or don't, like the reason why the offense can be better is it depends on matchups. If they want to run the ball up the middle, if we play an average to bad run defense, offense can do enough to win that game. At the very least, they can not fucking lose the game for us. Like in the Seahawks game, like all they had to do was just not the worst offense we've seen ever, and we would have won that game. Like we almost won with them being fucking terrible. Like our defense was balling the fuck out, and the defense, I feel terrible for the defense. Like, and it's bullshit too. They get 27 points. First touchdowns on them. CJ Stroud takes one of the worst sacks I've ever seen in my life, 18 plus yards, luck out to where it's not a safety. And they get the ball at like the 40. They get 2 first downs. They're right there in the red zone. You also had a play on there where you get a bullshit, a kind of a bonehead play, kind of bullshit with Aziz, like he's tackling him inbounds. I mean, whatever, but that gets them a first down, so they score. So that's 7 points that shouldn't have happened, in my opinion. They did have one drive where they drove the field. I feel like maybe that was the drive with a penalty. So you had 7 on field position from the bad sack, and also before that, a bad punt return by Berrios, who should not have been in the game at punt returner. I vouched for him. I, again, took their logic saying, oh, you need the veteran. He's smart. He's savvy. You know what? No, you don't. Like, especially at receiver, but at punt returner, you can't come in there and be on the 15 and let the ball go behind you and land to like the 6. You lost like 10, 12 yards of field position. And then, then you got a first down, then you had the sack. So that really screwed us together. So those are 2 factors there. But the point being too, with the defense, feel terrible for the defense. Those first 7 points, in my opinion, shouldn't have happened. And then the other drive that they scored, the full length of the field, was the Aziz penalty. Like, you should have been off the field. That should have been 3 points. And so instead of being down 14-0 with a terrible fucking offense, now being forced to press, now being forced to be in known passing downs, you're down 3-0. Like, and a lot of that too was they came out of this bye sluggish and like mentally, physically, like you didn't see any energy. Guys going rogue and being undisciplined, getting out schemed somehow. But so like now, like you come out behind the 8 ball and you have no chance. And then throughout the rest of the game, Stroud throws a pick and they get a field goal. That should have been no points. So that's so I'm counting in my head. That's 7 that we gave up, and then 4, that's 11, and then 3, that's 14 points for sure. And I want to say they got other ones too. We can go through the game, but like they got the ball on our side of the field like 4, 5, 6 times. Like, the defense early on, they were like getting kind of like that one long drive and then the short field drive. Also, too, they made adjustments there that we weren't fucking ready for. They're a wide zone team. Clint Kubiak, Shanahan tree. Okay, they're going to run fucking outside. We prepared for it. Like, got guys spread out. And you know what they did? They ran what we did. They ran duo right up the fucking middle for like the whole first quarter, and it took us a while to adjust. And so it's like but at least defense adjusted. Like, offense never adjusted. So, but that being said, like, I feel terrible for the defense. Like, they should have given up at least half as less amount of points. That's just if offense didn't fuck up. And the defense fucking scored for us too. Like, they were doing it all, bro. And we blocked a fucking kick that gave us the ball to get 1 first down to get a field goal for half. Like, defense, that's like 6 points right there. And then a touchdown, you go for 2. You shouldn't have gone for 2. Yeah, that's 7. That's 13 points essentially from your defense that you got to the offense. But yeah, so back on the offense, I think the offense can be viable against certain teams that are bad in the run game. It's just, we're not going to be able to come from behind unless somehow we figure that shit out. And we're not going to be able to beat teams or score enough points on good run defense teams where we're forced to throw the ball, where we're forced to throw quick game and tempo and spread. But if somehow we figure that out, it could be more optimistic. But I think because of that, we'll play enough bad defenses in the run game to allow us to get around 9 wins, maybe 10 wins to be in the playoffs. Call me crazy, but that's what I think. That doesn't mean I'm fucking high on it. But, man, shout out to chat. Shout out James Roy. Says, when was the last time the best defense in the league failed to make the playoffs? Pretty long time. And what pisses me off, too, is like I firmly believe this is a historically great defense, but the offense is robbing them of that notoriety. Like, some experts can still see through it, but like, if I was the defense, I'd be pissed. And like, this has to like eventually start wearing on the locker room. Like, it's been known, or it's been going on for a while. And, CJ Stroud's a leader and you don't want to cause tension, but like at a certain point, it's like, man, y'all fucking do y'all shit. Like, it's not even do y'all shit. It's like, just don't fucking suck and we'll win and we'll look better. But it's like, y'all keep fucking turning it over, taking sacks, 3 and out. It's like, y'all ain't doing us no fucking favors. We get you the ball back. You don't fucking do shit with it. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, besides Will Anderson Jr. scoring touchdowns, like, what do you want us to do? And that's what I said earlier on Twitter. I had an epiphany when driving in the car, thinking about the 3rd and shorts and 4th and shorts and how bad they are. I'm like, oh shit, JJ Watt used to come in. Like, and like, I think I was listening to Will Anderson or D'Amico talking about Will and just like raving about him, how he does it the right thing. He's like such a great mindset, such a great worker. I'm like, you know what? He could be better at fucking offense at guard or tackle than some of these guys more than likely. At least like in a JJ Watt fullback tight end type role, like that motherfucker would figure it out, So like, I'm not opposed to doing that, bringing him in on offense, have him as a lead blocker, and then throwing some packages off of that. Like, if our short, what do you have to lose? Like, right now we have the worst short yardage offense in the league. Like, try some fucking new shit. Like, if those guys aren't getting it done, Blake Fisher got fucking wrecked on the 4th and goal at the end of the game. He went to go block and the guy just fucking threw him down. I'm gonna post a clip. It was bad. Like, I don't like bashing guys, but it was bad. He'd been playing good at that tight end role, but he got worked on that one. So shout out Larry Payton. Texans interior line versus Seahawks interior D-line was a massacre. Yeah, Jake Andrews had a bad game too. Ed Ingram came back down to earth, and left guard, we know about that. JJ Sugar says, what are your expectations for this Sunday? My expectations are so low right now that I have no faith in us competing with any decent team. Low-key a blessing since I won't be stressed out, I think. Yeah, let me get a sip of water here. I mean, that's where I'm at now. Like, y'all know me, hype, optimistic. I'm suppressed right now. And I'm trying to like have a little bit of optimism, but yeah, I mean, how can anyone coming off of what we just saw feel great? I mean, I will say, and it just sucks because we've seen it plenty and it's like an annoying, tired excuse. We hear it all the time. It's a great defense. I was saying after the Rams game, yeah, they are a great defense, but still, like, teams still beat them. Bucks, I was kind of saying good defense there. Jags, I was saying they were underrated, and then now Seahawks. But then Seahawks, you know, they got 30 plus put on them by the Bucks. I really do feel like matchups are a big deal in the NFL. Like, you know, just because it was a bad matchup for us. But also the Bucks have a spread aerial offense, and they have a terrible secondary, and they have a quarterback probably better at reading defenses and blitz and better chemistry with his coordinators, receivers to expose those exotic schemes from Mike McDonald. So there's a lot that goes into that, but that being said, like I haven't fully dove in. We'll dive in together with the Niners. It depends on the matchup. First thing I looked at was their run defense. Obviously not as good as the Seahawks, so that makes me feel like they can beat them there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not super optimistic. So shout out Engineer in the chat. He's talking about the coaching staff. Shout out Brandon, my guy. Yeah, he said the Ravens missed their chance to promote Mike McDonald as head coach. Yeah, and I'm very impressed with him. I watched like a lot of interviews of his. Very methodical, mellow guy. He kind of reminds me of Harbaugh, like the way he talks. But he's like one of the youngest, if not the youngest coach in the NFL. Very innovative. Sounds like he's a great motivator. Shout out Jay Hoover 07, King Colby, obviously. Sorry if I missed anything else. I kind of had my little soliloquy there. I always try not to curse, but it's hard not to there. I'm sorry that I do it so much. And if you watched, let me know if y'all watched if any of y'all watched my live stream of the game, let me know how it was. Get some feedback on that. I felt bad after how much I was cursing, but like I couldn't help it, man. Like that's me, you know, like, and I don't do it on purpose, like to try and be cool or anything. It's just, I can't help it. Like I'm trying to work on it, but shout out Nosh. CJ threw a beautiful pass to Nico where he had a chance to possibly house it and he drops that. Yeah. So, I mean, whole offense, like Nico's been bad this year. I love Nico, but he's been bad. Like he's had a handful of drops. And he is getting pressed on the line of scrimmage like a mother. Like that Josh Jobe play where he got hurt. He got fucking owned, dude. Like he pressed him, and then when the ball came, fucking push him on the ground. Like he's getting bullied, dude. Like, and then even like on his routes too, like earlier in the year, you know, against Bucks or whatever it was, or I mean, all the games, like he's running his route where he's supposed to run like here to here, but then the cornerback pushes him here. And so now he's 5 yards in, and that's happening to all of our receivers. Like they're getting jammed off the fucking line of scrimmage. You need someone. That's what you need a Z. Like obviously, X receiver can do that. Nico's a freak can do it, but like that's where someone shifty like Tank is good. He's small, but he's quick as fuck. Like he will juke the fuck out of you off the line of scrimmage, and he is a fucking Picasso when it comes to route running. He will be on his landmarks, and his timing will be great. He won't get washed inside. He won't know when to not sit in the zone. Like Nico struggled with that. Hutchins struggled with that. And they're still struggling with it. Like they've shown improvements and they're still up and down, but like, you know, they're running a dig route and you're supposed to like first window before this backer settle right here. They'll run right fucking through it and they'll run into the fucking guy. Like when you're open, stop, you know? It happened in that game again too. Like a lot of little shit. And I think the pressing is maybe just defenses, you know, changing, or it's just a regression, or maybe it's just a temporary small volume. But like, I think the other stuff like the timing and then like the knowing when to sit in zones when not and reading defenses, I think that's more of the new offense where now the receiver's more empowered. I assume in the other offense, like they ran the same shit no matter what more often than not. So that's a big issue there. But yeah, I'll talk about CJ Stroud. Like to me, he did not play good. Like we were watching it here, like and you know, and I can say this and not be slandering him and saying that he's the problem. He's not the fucking problem. And saying that he's not the guy. He is the fucking guy. I know who he is. I've seen him. He, to me, is an elite quarterback, but he's been slowly playing worse and worse. And, you know, he's had some moments. Depends on the game flow, opponent, run game. That's for any quarterback. But, you know, I mean, the stuff we're seeing, like, this reminded me of late last year. Like, he was fucking spooked from, like, before the game even fucking started. Like, off the jump, dude. Like, that first sack was terrible. Like, drifted way the fuck back in the pocket. And like Titus, not a good block, but when you drift back 5-6 yards and the end is looping around the tackle, now you're running back to the rush. Step up in the pocket. He has been bad at stepping up in the pocket, especially this year. Like, and he's starting to do it here and there, but like do it more. Like, please step up in the pocket. Like he was bad in this game at that. And again, like I thought he is cerebral. You can read a defense. He's great, but he also got owned by Mike Macdonald with these disguises. Like they came out with the game plan of shit they didn't expect. They were bracketing Nico. He looked at there first and then wasn't there. And fuck, what do I do? And then, they would do different disguises where it looked like, this little light went off, where it looked like it was, cover 3 and it would be cover 1 or whatever. Like they would just roll into different stuff. And you could tell that little bit of hesitation. He's just throwing the ball out quick. He was skittish. He had happy feet. Like you can't deny it, dude. Like it looked pretty rough. And that's, again, I'm not hating by any means. Like he will tell you, like he said in his presser, that was one of his worst games. D'Amico has called it out. And PFF, I know we're not big PFF fans and been under fire, but like that was his worst graded PFF game. To me, it matches up. And that's not me saying that I don't think he can get back to what he was. I do, but you still have to acknowledge it. Like that was a big part of the problem too. Like Kaylee was bad, but also the receivers are bad. Stroud was bad. The O-line was bad. And then also too, it was a great defense and Mike Macdonald fucking out schemed him. So, but yeah, I mean, on top of that too, there was that one drive where he overthrew 3 straight balls. Like it almost seemed like he just said, like, he just wanted the game to be over. He's like, fuck this. He just get in this fucking, and was like, it just felt weird. Like if you watched the stream with me, like we all kind of were talking about it together. But yeah, so I mean, I'm confident he can bounce back. Like he had a presser today, said he's as confident as he ever will be. And that's part of what we liked about when we drafted him, is his mental makeup, being able to deal with this stuff. But we have to help him. You have to, if the run game obviously helps, but if it's not working, you got to do other stuff. You got to change the concepts. You got to, have the receivers be on the same page. So, but yeah, so I'm not saying I believe he is 1000% the guy, but he had a bad game this game, and that's okay. But I'm confident he can bounce back, but we got to fucking help him out. Like Hayden says on IG, I think it's a talent problem, O-line, and that's why I was upset about Casario, the way he approached it. And then also too, running back, like Marks has been a good spark, and we're all wondering why Dare is in the game. Marks doesn't know the playbook, or he knows the playbook, but he's had times where he's messed up throughout the year. And this time it was evident. We're running, to the left and he runs to the right. And Stroud's like, but I've seen multiple times throughout the year that's happened. And I don't know if that's his fault, if it's because the shit's too fucking confusing. We haven't given him reps. We're not fucking coaching him, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing a good amount of the time. So us as fans, like, why the fuck are you playing him? Well, he doesn't know what to do. Okay, well, whose fault is that? That's the coaches, running back coach. These position coaches need to be looked at too. Like, if certain guys are doing things over and over again, the receivers, getting jammed or dropping passes or not running the right route, or there was also a play where Stroud got sacked and it was so part of it can be too, another layer to all this shit is he's gotten the control he's needed. So we also don't know how much of it is his struggles / faults on IDing the mic, where he's sliding the protection, if he's doing it the wrong side, which you can still be wrong and be right, but there's still like out of the two options, like this one's the better option. So that could be part of it. Audibling, like he can audible the run. So now you see different fronts. So like they were doing different fronts with the D line. And so, we should run here. We should not run here. We should run this way. We should run that way. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And so that's a whole new layer that he may not be used to, the run game part of it, where he could be getting owned on that. And so it's tough to tell, but I forgot where that thought first went, but that's a whole nother layer that we're not quite aware of if that's something that's he's struggling with. But sorry, I'm not really getting to the comments. Like it's just when I get back on here hot, I can't really. Grayson says, was watching Chat Sports. Chugs proposed a trade idea. Didn't seem bad at all, but likely not to happen. The trade was a Damian Pierce for Kyle Duggar straight swap. I think ESPN said that too, but yeah, I mean, Pierce is just a waste. They should have traded him in the fucking spring, dude. Like you knew he wasn't going to play, but like, it feels like you just wanted to be nice to him and didn't want to be a dick. Maybe the market isn't there, but like, I feel like you could have traded him before the draft, after the draft. Once you got a running back and you knew you weren't going to play him, and like, instead of trying to say, well, he'll change all of a sudden, like we've given him ample times and now he's just a healthy inactive. It's a waste of a fucking spot. Like you could have gotten something for him. Same thing for Christian Harris. Like, I know people say he should play. Okay, maybe he should, but like they're not playing him. If he's becoming a healthy scratch here and there, shouldn't you just gotten something for him? Like, we can have fucking Joe Schmo be a healthy scratch. Like, what the fuck are we doing? So that's my little rant there, man. I've been ripping and running on this one. King Colby, I'm not a fan of the receiver coach. JJ Sugar, the first sack he took, it should have been a safety. I called it before it happened. I knew the pressure was coming. Yeah, it was bad. And then just like decisions too, like it sucks because I think a big part of where he's struggling, and he's aware of it and doing better, but like, hit the fucking check down, dude. Like, there's plenty of times, like, when you see shit going down, you know where the check down is, just fucking look for them and they're gonna be there, you know? And that's better than a sack or a pick, you know, like easier said than done, but like pretty often the check down's there. I was thinking this earlier too, like, what if we ran an offense where every play we said, hey, let's just throw the check down. And you get 2 yards. Sometimes it's bigger. Sometimes you break it. That's what our mindset should be, is check down, check down, check down, check down, check down, until they start overplaying. Now hit them with one. Like, it almost has to be like a called play. Like, you almost have to call it. Like, call the normal concepts you're running bullshit, stressing the field, but then say, hey, I'm going to call this play, but your first read is now fucking Schultz in the flats. Like, that's what I would do to kind of, because it seems to be, you know, they have emphasized it and they're aware of it, of, hey, death by 1,000 cuts, too high shell. You either have to run the ball or you have to fucking check it down. Okay, well, we're not. So, like, kind of do like a psychological trick and be like, hey, this is your first read. Like, or I wouldn't even tell him if I was the OC. Like, if this is an issue, like I think it is, I would just say, hey, this is a new play, and this is your first read. And it's like some bullshit flat route. And he might be like, what? Like, no, it's first read. And then like, yeah, boom. And then you can like trick them into like, okay, cool. Like, that's what it's like. And then now you can change it down the road. I mean, that's just a thought I had there. But regardless, I mean, you know, he was kind of shook. So it was tough. Engineer says, yeah, how many rock bottoms is he going to hit? That's true, man. So, I mean, it does get concerning. I still have faith, but yeah, I mean, he does deserve blame to be looked at. He's not impervious to that. And like, I understand, like, I kind of used to be like the people that would be like, oh, bro, why are you blaming him? Like, I'm not blaming him. But I mean, people do blame him. I don't blame you for blaming him. Like, I get it. Like, I see shit and I can't deny what I see. Like, you know, he has to be complicit in some of this stuff too. It's not always just the OC. It's not always just the O-line. Like, the O-line, like, we'll go at it now. The O-line actually did pretty good. And I am learning, though, like, we like to dive into these, you know, next gen stats and, you know, pressure rate and all this shit. Like, it's become super in vogue. You see it on the fucking broadcast because it's their shit and they promote it. And PFF and all these people are posting it, and like PFF and next gen stats and another stats place all have their own way of measuring it. But then we, in our minds, it's pressure rate. So we compare them the same. And then like within pressure rate too, like there can be, it's just all, it's gotten messed up. Like, I get it. It's just like PFF grades too. Like, it's impossible for us to watch every team and to like mentally take like a token on like who every player on every team is and what their unit is and how they are. So you need stats or grades to kind of help you, you know, have a more informed opinion. But I'm learning these pressure rate stats are kind of bullshit, because I've been vouching and arguing for the Texans O-line that they're an average O-line, especially in pass pro, because all those numbers back it up. Pressure rate, you know, pressures, sacks, whatever it may be, kind of back that up. But then, you know, like Ursery had a 1% pressure rate. You watch the game and, you know, I guess obviously the one sticks out where he lets the guy go, but I saw at least a couple, but you don't know how they're assigning it. Like, one company may do it by like anytime the player gets within 1.5 yards of the quarterback, or one company might do 2 yards or 3 yards, or there can be multiple pressures on one play, like where both tackles get beat and both guys are right there. Is that 2 pressures or is that a half pressure? Like, how do they account it? Because like PFF had a stat that said that we gave up 28 pressures. And then I go to their fucking site and I go to the O-line and it says 11 pressures. I'm like, well, what's the same fucking company? How is there a fucking difference? And it's like, there's semantics, but then fucking explain it. Because you want to use it that for a graphic to be like, oh, Texas O-line ass. But then you want to use this, like, actually not ass. Like, it's only 11. Well, like, what the fuck is it? You know? So like, so I started like digging in, like, why is this 28? Why is that 11? Like, oh, well, you can count multiple pressures and total pressures. Like, well, how is that even a thing? Like, There needs to be one uniform standard for this pressure shit. It's kind of pissing me off. That's a little rant on that, but yeah. So, but PFF does do where you can break it down by responsibility, and CJ Stroud had a high responsibility of pressure rate, and he's been low on that his whole career. I've been saying it's not his fault. His time to throw has not been crazy. The percentage pressure rate, again, subjective, like it's charting data and stats, but it's according to their metric and their standard. 2, it's based off some fucking guys charting it. Like they could be wrong. Enough guys could mischart it. But again, what else are you going to use? So obviously we watch the Texans, so we can match it up like, nah, that's not accurate. But in this game, it matched up to me. CJ had a bad game. I felt like a lot of the pressures were on him from holding onto the ball too long for the early in the year. Not an issue. His time to throw this time was closer to 3 seconds. And this is Mike McDonald's defense. Drop back. Oh shit, what's going on? Oh shit, sack. Or oh shit, and so that's what I saw. As well as he was happy feet. Like he wouldn't step up in the pocket. He was uncomfortable. And again, you can say that's because of what he's experienced, but it happened real quick this game. But as an OC, you got to recognize that and find ways to get him out of it. But yeah, let's go into the stats and I'll show y'all. But I think the O-line, obviously, I'm being hypocritical in the sense that I'm torching Caserio for not addressing O-line, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, they're not as bad as we think. I think both things can be true. I think they can be not as bad as we think, and you can still be mad that you didn't really take it seriously because, it's whatever it is, it's not good enough. And like I said, like these stats can show one thing, but we feel another way. So let me share my screen here. Present, share screen, and we'll go to, let's go right here. Share. All right. So we got here on next gen. If we'll go to team offense, and then we'll have to filter it. If y'all have this, I'm so mad. Like I've had access to all this stuff, and it's like taken me so long to like figure out how to like get to some of this stuff. Let's see. I'll take these off for a second. Let's see. Sorry, I'm not commenting too much, but yeah. And I am starting to think like what's so frustrating is this sounds true and may be true what Larry says. CJ has played poorly because he's not comfortable with scheme, play calling, and protection. Was he not asked who the fuck he wanted to hire? Like, if this is your franchise quarterback that you invested so heavily in, that you drafted number 2 overall, are you not getting his input on who he wants to be hired and what kind of system? Or are you just saying, fuck off, like, you're just a fucking kid? Like, I can see them doing that, but, like, if you're a business-minded person and you're heavily invested in something, you would want that investment's opinion on what you're doing to help them help you. Like, so that's like the frustrating thing. But like, I've gotten the same sense, like the body language, I thought it was kind of overblown initially, like the whole CJ Stroud body language. Like you watch these pressers and people are like, oh, he looks down, da, 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 da. I'm like, oh, people are tripping, whatever. And now it's like, as it's gone on, like more of these stack up. I'm like, yeah, like he seems bothered. Like, and so like, I start to think like, is he like frustrated, but like not speaking up to them because he doesn't want to get in trouble, like a kid type of thing. Like they're these big authority, like respect your boss. Like he's not allowed to like speak his mind, or maybe he has and they told him not to, and he just like has to like deal with it. But like that's like what I feel like. Like it feels like and you start to overanalyze stuff. But like I almost wanted to post this, but I want to like post something and like start a narrative that's wrong. But during the D'Amico mic'd up, I'll play it. Let me see if I can play it. During the D'Amico mic'd up on one of the runs, let me see if I can find it on my phone. I'll play it for y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm probably tripping, overanalyzing, but I noticed this during the Titans game, and my subconscious mind was like, wow, did Stroud just brush off Kalshi? I was like, nah, you're tripping, dude. You're overanalyzing stuff. But now, like, this happened, like, maybe there is this tension where he hates him, and because, like, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, because you have seen him where he's like down and whatever. Obviously, you're losing. Everyone's like that, but you've seen him like upbeat and happy. And so you start to question these things. But Let me find this video. I'm going to bookmark it on my phone, and then we'll pull it up. Let's see. It's going to be the Woody Marks run against the Titans. So it's going to be that one. But anyways, like, they score a touchdown. Like, so my thought process on this was
handoff, Woody, left side.
The Titans, and we score a touchdown late, and offense has been struggling all year, and we had just scored our other first touchdown. Is it not? At the stage. We had just scored one of our first touchdowns. This is Woody Marks running the ball, scoring another big touchdown late. This is like a breakthrough moment for us in the offense and the team. Like, finally, like, we got some fucking positive shit going. Like, one, you think Stroud would be fucking hype, like, but he's like still pissed. Like, maybe that's just him being a competitor. Like, it's not good enough. But you know, Kaylee's all hype. You'll see here. He's like
15, 10, 5. Look at that move! Dives into the end zone. His second touchdown of the day. Wow! There's your back right there, DB.
There's Kaylee.
What a move! Great job.
Good
man.
job.
Great
Good
job.
job.
Great job.
He goes in to celebrate with the teammates.
Oh, boy.
You know, he daps up Woody.
Wow. There's your back right there.
Watch him dap up CJ. He like hits him in the helmet, and Stroud is like, "What the fuck hit me in my helmet?"
Great job.
This is like the vibes.
Great job, boy. Great job.
You see that? Like, is that not good body language between your OC and your quarterback? Like, he gets hit in the head, and he's like, "Bro, what the fuck? You see that shit? Like, am I tripping? This is against the Titans." And he's like, "Why the fuck you touching me, dude?" Like, walking around him, like, that's not good, right? I mean, and I don't know who's at fault, if CJ's tripping or like if it's deserved. Like, am I tripping on that? Did y'all see that shit? Let me know your thoughts on that. So, I mean, like, I don't want to bring it up like on Twitter, like post it and be wrong. Like, I'm not trying to start a narrative, but like, I couldn't help but notice that, and I ignored it, and now I come back to it. I'm like, dude, like, I mean, and I'm not saying either side. Like, I don't know if it's CJ's the one who's in the wrong, or if it's Kaylee's in the wrong, or like, regardless, it doesn't seem good. Like, you would think that you have this big moment where you finally break through, that like and if you and your OC were tight, like, yeah, man, we fucking did it. Like, he's just like annoyed by it. Yeah, you fucking suck. And if that's the case, then like, let him speak up and tell you what you want. I don't know, man. It's just a weird thing. So, and then Larry says, I think CJ thought Kaylee was bringing McVay's scheme, but reality hit when Kaylee had CJ watching early Brady film. Yeah, but he's been talking about it. He's been pumped about it. So, Young Bird, Casario hiring all these young Patriots people. Yeah, it's all Patriots people. So, yeah, Nosh. I mean, am I right? Like, I thought I was tripping. So, anyhow, over here on Next Gen team offense, we can filter it by the team. Let's just go for the year, Houston Texans. Or let's just, first off, let's go to, again, we got to start looking at these quarterback pressure percentage with a grain of salt. Like, I just went through that diatribe. But, Texans O-line, worst pass pro O-line. According to this metric, which I'm starting to question, we are the 20th highest. So that would be the 13th lowest pressure rate percentage by offensive line, 32.9%. So that tells a different story. And then if you match that up with like PFF or others, like, it's all pretty uniform. So that's part of it there. But then and then we'll go to this last week. We'll go to I guess while we're here, let's just look at all the shit. We'll go to points per game. Texans offense is, 21st with 21.2. And that's what that Baltimore game helped out a lot. Yards per game, Texans offense is 23rd, 304 yards per game. Touchdowns, this is going to be fucking dead last, isn't it? Touchdowns, the Texans are 26 with 12. Will Anderson Jr. has 1/12 as much as the offense. EPA per play. EPA I can jive with, because it's basically like WAR, and it takes out a lot of bullshit. It takes out, again, I mean, it shouldn't be an end-all be-all, but I can kind of jive with EPA, and it typically matches up. Like, Colts offense, number 1 EPA? Yeah. Chiefs? Yeah. Packers? Yeah. Cowboys? Yeah. Bills? Yeah. Lions? Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Patriots? Yeah. Like, those all seem like top offenses so far. And Texans 20th, minus 0.06. That checks out. Pass yards per game, we are 23rd, 198 per game. EPA per pass, we are, 19th, minus 0.08. Rush yards per game, we are 18th, which is 106.2 per game. And so EPA per rush, which was actually a top 5, we were top 5 in EPA per rush for this. That's crazy. We were top 5 in EPA per rush going into the Seahawks matchup. That's why I was kind of excited about the Seahawks matchup, because they were number 1 or number 2 in rush defense, but we were number 5. And my hypocritical ass was like highlighting, all their stuff against their opponents and like how to not weigh too much into it. We shouldn't have weighed too much into our rushing EPA, because I bet a lot of that was gotten through Tennessee and Baltimore. We were top 5. Now, just 1 week later, after playing a top 5, top 2 EPA rush defense, we are number 16. Like, they beat our ass, minus 0.04. So, and if you go to time to throw, let's go to lowest to highest. And the time to throw for Stroud, even after his highest of the season with Mike McDonald, is 2.73, the 9th fastest. So he's getting rid of the ball besides this last game fast. So now we can just shout out Texans Jacob. He's happy. EPA. Yeah, I'm coming around to it. And then let's see, going to filter by team. We'll go to Houston Texans, and then we'll filter it by week 7. And so this will tell us all the stats for the game versus the Seahawks. The quarterback pressure percentage was 31.5%. It feels like it was, you saw shit on the TV broadcast. He's been pressured fucking 30 times. He's been pressured 60%. Like, you got all this bullshit floating around. It's all fucking different. Like, it's just, and you see one stat and then it's like stuck in your head. And again, I'm referring to this stat, which who knows, it's just wild. So, but that's nice. They ran 69 total plays. Nice. And let's see. So we were 75% pass. So we were forced to abandon the run, and we did better in the pass. And you know what? Their weakness was their pass defense. But our EPA per play was minus 0.39, and our EPA per rush was minus 0.58. We got fucking worked, bro. Like, that's crazy. So, like, let's just go back and look at EPA per rush and see what it was against the Ravens. It was plus 0.16. And then against the Titans, it was plus 0.07. But then if you go against the Jags, it was minus 0.27. If you go against the Bucks, surprisingly, plus 0.07. Rams, I bet you it's low. Rams, it was 0. So, I mean, yeah, again, our rushing offense is probably middle of the pack, and it depends on who we play that week. And that's their philosophy. So, but yeah, so I think that's enough on there. I think there's some insights we can look at as well. Let me see, which, I think that's part of it too, is they're promoting all this shit in here and they have all their insights, which is based off all their stats. And I've been sharing these because they're cool nuggets and you kind of see stuff you don't see, but it can like make you believe shit that is like overweighted. And I'm learning this, like you'll see this and you're like, oh, we got a massive edge here, but it's like, yeah, do we though? And I was kind of a victim too of the bye week, like having too much time of like digging way too in the weeds, over analyzing it. But King Colby's right. The bye week hurt them. I agree, man. I mean, it definitely did. But, too, you can make an excuse, road, loud environment, rust, whatever. I mean, it's excuses, but they don't jive. So see if there's any good things on here. Not really. We can go to PFF real quick and look at some of the stuff on there. Again, if we're looking at grades, subjective. But the team grade against Seahawks, 65.7. So not terrible overall, but the last 2 games, 85.7 overall against the Ravens, 76.4 overall against the Titans, 60.9 nice against the Jags, 67.5 against the Bucks, 60.5 against the Rams. So it wasn't our worst game. It was our third lowest graded game, except offense was 55, which was our lowest graded game on offense. I mean, this stuff is kind of checking out overall right here. And pass block, back to the other stats that we just saw, cross-referencing other, deals, 68.9, which is pretty good pass blocking. And, like I haven't finished watching the whole film, but like what I've seen and what I observed in the game, O-line was bad, yes, but a lot of it, like I mentioned, receivers and quarterback. And honestly, too, like last year, a lot of it was tight ends, and O-line was getting blamed. O-line still sucked, but they were getting more of it because of tight ends. And then this year, early on, running backs were fucking up a lot, and that was getting blamed on O-line. But in this game, running backs did good. We'll dive into it. But receiving grade, average. Run blocking was terrible. That checks out. 50.2. We got fucking worse run blocking. There's the direct correlation. Offense was 55 and run block was 50. As a result, your pass is now 40 because you're in known passing downs. The rest's pretty decent. Defense balled out 79, and run defense average tackling better than what we've had. Pass rush elite 87. Coverage pretty good. That's surprising. I guess Stingley, we didn't talk about Stingley. Stingley all of a sudden is having a bad year. I mean, I guess we kind of like chalked it up to injury, but like he's not himself, man. Like he's still making plays and good, but he's, and you wonder, is it still injury or is it, I don't know. Is it just variance? But he's not playing at an all-pro level, that's for sure. And so if we go to offense, we can go to grades here again. Jalen Noel, hey, yeah, he looked like he was pretty good. He had a good grade. That checks out to me. Blake Fisher had a decent game overall. Limited sample size, 10 snaps. Chubb did average, but he only had 19 snaps. Schultz graded well. I thought he played well. He's been playing good all year. Not great in run blocking, but he's been doing better there. I mean, Schultz is one of our best offensive players right now this year. Nico average. Dare, so we'll go to that later, but I don't think he did terrible. He did great in pass block, and it checked out in the game. I know we're all, scarred from that, but I feel like he was in the game because he knew the plays better than Woody. And then I don't know if Chubb got hurt too. Like that is kind of weird. Did something happen to Chubb? That's kind of weird. And so, but yeah, CJ Stroud, 41.2. That checks out. Ed Ingram came back down to earth, hopefully he gets back. Tough matchup, but he did bad. And that's what killed us. Like before, we were getting by with just a left guard being bad. And we talked about it. Juice Scruggs, Lakin Tomlinson rotating. Why? I'm not surprised that Tomlinson played because Scruggs, I thought, from looking at film and grades and matching stuff up, I forget what it was, but they're inverse. One is good at pass blocking and one's good at run blocking. One's bad at run blocking and one is bad at pass blocking. So it's like if we could just mold the two together, we could have a pretty decent left guard. So I wasn't surprised that we might see Lakin Tomlinson again because Scruggs seemed like he was doing better because Lakin did bad, but Scruggs really wasn't impressing that much. And turns out it was against inferior D lines potentially. So a lot there, but just to look at on this we will go to passing, we'll go to blocking and pass blocking. And the pressures, 11 total pressures. That's not bad. 2 were on Titus. Titus didn't have a great game, even though they gave him a 75.8 with 2 pressures. I feel like he had moments where he didn't look great. And, you need him to be the anchor of the O-line. So, and he's taking responsibility and accountability, but that's good to see him do that, but we need to see improvement. Lakin had 1 pressure in 28 snaps. Jake Andrews had 1 pressure. Ed Ingram had 2. And Ursery had 1. Scruggs had 2. Fisher had 1. Harrison Bryant had 1. And so, but the thing here is running back has been our weakness. We had 6 pass block snaps from Dare, 3 from Chubb, and 9 from Woody. So that's 18 total pass snaps from running backs and 0 pressures between them. That's a positive sign. That could just be the matchup. And, I thought they were going to exploit the hell out of that against our backs. So just going over to defense, how they looked. Will Anderson Jr., yep, ball the fuck out. Kalen Bullock, Ball hawk. Yeah, he balled out, dude. That's good to see. That's a good trend to see. EJ Speed played well. Let's go. Danico Autry. Danico Autry only played 10 snaps, and he had a sack and a TFL in 10 snaps. Like, how highly effective is that? That is insane. And then he only had 7 snaps on special teams, blocked a field goal, and almost blocked a PAT. That dude balled out. Petrie balled out. MJ Stewart played well. Derek Barnett played well. Kamari played decent. Down here on the bottom, Stingley, great at bad. It checked out there. Tackling, bad. Togiai, he did good in pass rush, it looks like. Aziz kind of had a meh game. Again, subjective. You kind of take what you want there. I don't know. I wanted to dive into the Niners. Like, we still could do that. Oh, so tomorrow at 1 p.m., I believe, I will be going live like I did last week with the Seahawks beat writer. This guy, I don't believe he's a beat writer, but he's kind of like me, but he does like a lot of film breakdown, very sharp guy, Johnny Dells. He does his own shows and stuff like this. But this time it'll be an hour long, and I'll basically interview him about the Niners for the first half, and then he'll basically interview me about the Texans for the next half. So you can watch it live or rewatch it on all these platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and get some insight on the Niners. But we can do like we normally do. It's only 10:48. Only 10:48. We can begin our deep dive like we normally do into the matchup ourselves here. And I like the way we do this because, I come in with a clean slate, and now I can interact with you guys, and we kind of figure stuff out together. So shout out Salvador Velasquez. What are some ways the offense can counter the blitz? I feel like we never have an answer for it. Feels automatic. I think we can get to the line of scrimmage quicker, and we can use a fucking hard count. It's where you get under center. So like in football on offense, there's a center who snaps the ball and a quarterback who asks the center to snap him the ball. And he does that through a cadence. And it'll be like down set hut. And like when he says that third word, you snap it. But some teams, actually most teams, all teams except the Houston Texans, you can use that to your advantage. You can do the same one, downside hut. Okay, downside hut, downside hut. And now sometimes you can go up there like, downside hut? And you can fake it. And the defense gets, stuck into you doing it. And now all of a sudden they can jump off sides and get a free play. Or if they're a team that likes to blitz and disguise stuff, they may think you're snapping the ball because you're so done. That's what you always do. They may jump and show you. And you can be like, oh, shit, hey, they're blitzing right here. Downside hut, boom. We haven't done that one fucking time. At least it feels like it. Like for Stroud's whole career, to me, it's the biggest mystery. Like, why have we not used a hard count? It's just mind-boggling. So, let's see. JJ Sugar, not looking at the numbers, just thinking back to how many times I would be relieved someone didn't make a big catch on us. Sorry I'm missing the convo. I know I like to engage back and forth. Shout out Austin DeSouza for tapping in. Not convinced CJ was involved in the hiring of Kaylee. Leadership never to let Deshaun in these combos. Yeah, I mean, you can't believe that he was. So, but yeah, back to the next gen. Actually, I think I'm going to take a leak. If y'all need to go take a break, do that. I will see if I can play some media for y'all to keep you entertained in the meantime. What I can do is just play something that's not boring. I'll go to my timeline and play like a interview clip or something. That way you guys aren't listening to some BS. Listen to Jalen Knoll talking. This is from Landry Locker. And I will be right back.
Prepare like I'm the number one guy mentally. So just continue my preparation. Having full confidence in myself, full confidence in my teammates that we'll be able to go out there and be successful.
To know that you could be displayed more, does it make it exciting though?
Every week's exciting for me. Going with the same mindset, a mindset to go in there and have an impact in a positive way for the team and go dominate.
How would you compare where you are with your comfort level from, say, week one to now, just knowing what's going on, prepared to make plays?
Yeah, I would say it's a big difference from week one to now. Like you said, just kind of
Oh, damn. My bad, fellas. That's on me. All right, I'm back.
Settling in and understanding how to, or what my process is each week, and then going into the game, knowing what to expect, the speed of the game. And,
All right. Let's get back to what we were doing here. Yeah. We do need him on the field every play, dude. It's freaking wild.
Yeah, I feel like I made some good plays, and
yeah, that was
for me, I'm always looking what
that
I
was
can do
interesting.
better at.
And so yeah, a couple things in the game too I didn't touch on, but it seems like there's this disconnect. Like for what reason? Like if you watch the interviews of D'Amico with John Harris and Mark Vandermeer, that's when I feel like you get the most insight to D'Amico as like him like giving you nuggets of the game plan. And most of the times he tells you and does them, but he said we need to press JSN, and we fucking didn't do it. And then he's asked about it after the game. He's like, we didn't do it. Or then there's a clip today I'll post from his presser today, and he basically says like, guys just got to do what we tell them to do. Like they're not doing what we tell them to do. And it's like, okay, well, why? Like, how does that happen? Like, do they not believe you? Like, are they just assholes? You're supposed to have these good culture guys, coachable guys. So it's kind of concerning in that regard. Another example too was Kaimi Fairbairn. It was told to him, hey, and I posted a tweet earlier about it, and I could be splitting hairs, but D'Amico after the game said we told him to kick the ball out of bounds, and then he kicked it in the end zone. So I'm like, okay, he just tried, but it's tough to kind of time it, and he missed it. And then Kaimi was asked today about it. He said, yeah, they said to kick it through the end zone or out of bounds. Like, okay, like this is semantics, but like, did you tell him one thing or did you tell him one or two? And then, why wouldn't you in that situation be like, hey, what are you more comfortable with? Because that is not as easy as it sounds, but like if the kicker's a strong kicker and he's like, oh, I'm confident in just fucking kicking the shit out of it, out of the back. Okay, cool. Kick it out of the back. Now you got a one-track mind of like, I'm going to do this. Instead, you say, hey, do this or that. And he's like, fuck, which one should I do? Which one should I do? I'll try this. And then it didn't work. So, I mean, maybe that's overanalyzing it. Maybe it's just something he messed up and they need to practice and work on. But there just seems to be too many examples of that, and that's not a good sign. So hopefully that gets righted out here. But by the way, if you want to, I guess we can do this too. If you go to Kalshi.com, which is on the bottom here, and you want to quote unquote trade on the game is what they call it. It's a commodity site. KALSHI.com. And you can see what the Texans are. Texans, 49ers. And so if you sign up and use the code HOU, you get a free $20, and that helps me out. So, but right now it's, according to this market, it's pretty much even. We're favored by 1%, 2% essentially. So it's basically a pick 'em. So that's cool to see. Sounds about right. I mean, I think it is a pick 'em game, and you know what? We will dive right into it now. So, you know what? Where I like to start is I like to start at the schedules. So let's go to NFL scores. Share this tab instead. I like to dissect who they've played and all that good stuff. So the Niners, we know, have had a ton of injuries. Obviously, Brock Purdy really hasn't played since week 1 or week 2. Mac Jones has played, but played decent. I mean, we've seen with the Shanahan system, they can do a lot with quarterbacks. Like over the years, they've won with whoever at quarterback on the Niners. The Vikings, Kevin O'Connell has won some games with Carson Wentz and this guy and that guy. Darnold, I, have thought too less of him. He's actually pretty good, but still, like, and now he's, with Kubiak and Seattle doing well. So that offense is notorious for still getting more out of those guys. So Mac Jones has played well, but from that aspect alone, like, we should win. And I think home matters. I don't know how much home would have mattered against the Seahawks, honestly, too. But regardless, their schedule, they beat the Seahawks in Seattle week 1. So that tells us, damn, we're screwed. But, you could say matchups matter. They may have matched up better. You also don't know health. I know that was a different team then health-wise. But, hey, I mean, I thought we had a chance to win in Seattle, even though it could have been a lot worse. But Regardless, their next win, Saints 26-21. Okay. They should have beat them 40-10. Why didn't they beat them 40-10? Cardinals 16-15. I mean, does that move the needle? They lost to the Jaguars. So did we. We can't say anything. 26-21. They beat the Rams. That was impressive. Watch that game Thursday night. Very undermanned. Very impressive win. Lost to the Bucs pretty handedly. So did we. Close game last second. Beat the Falcons again. Watch that. I believe it was Monday night or Sunday night. And boring ass game. That's probably how our game is going to be, just like this. 30, 35, 40 points max. Let's look at the box score real quick. I imagine this is how our game will be. This was an ugly game. They weren't very impressive. The Seahawks were just more bad. I mean, the Falcons do have a good defense. But I think the thing to look at here is rushing yards. Well, they got held to 62 rushing yards, and they have Bijan Robinson. That's not encouraging. But the Falcons run the wide zone Shanahan scheme, so that is a factor there to think about. And so, I can go and make all these this and that's all day, but it comes down to us being able to run the ball, unfortunately. But the Bucs kind of run wide zone. Let's look at the Rams, how they ran the ball, because they're more of a gap team like us. And they ran for 78 yards. So let's see if there's any other games rushing wise to look at. Schedule. I go back. And Jaguars are they're kind of middle of the pack. I think Cardinals. Yeah, this is weird. Like, because I was diving into this, they played a lot of wide zone teams. So this could be a different look for them. Obviously, with this game too, is a lot of storylines, parallels. D'Amico obviously coming from San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan's like his mentor, who like basically encouraged him to coach and gave him a shot. Obviously there's the parallels that we brought Slowick over, so we know the Shanahan scheme. Also, D'Amico kind of has the same defensive scheme as Saleh, so on both sides, we both kind of know the defenses. We have the advantage of knowing their offense. Lake and Tomlinson's on our team. So I think there's some carryover there, but I guess what we could do too is look at their depth chart. Let's go to 49ers depth chart. And we got Jawan Jennings, underrated receiver, but I think he's been not playing quite as good as what I think he normally is, having to step up. They've been hurt at receiver. Trent Williams, obviously, great left tackle, but he's kind of dipped off a little bit. Connor Colby, left guard. I believe he's a rookie who's playing decent. Jake Brendel, who's on the injury report, I believe. And so George Kittle's back, beast, obviously. Pearsall didn't practice today. I think Kendrick Bourne did, so he's been kind of stepping up. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey. That's the whole game plan. That was their whole game plan against the Falcons. Their whole offense was Christian McCaffrey. Throw it to him, throw it to him, throw it to him, run, throw, all Christian McCaffrey all day. So find a way to shut him down. That's your priority number one. Juszczyk, obviously, too. He's back. I think he was hurt, maybe not, but he is a true fullback and is vital to that offense. And then Mac Jones. And then on the edge, Bryce Huff is supposed to miss this game. So is Brock Purdy again, quarterback. Just kind of seeing if there's any names that stick out. This defense, not a lot of like big names that stick out. Malik Mustafa, he's a safety. I remember scouting him. I think he's second year maybe. Upton Stout, he's a nickel back that was mid to late round. Diamador Lenore, decent corner. And they lost Dre Greenlaw again. I'm sorry, Fred Warner. They lost Fred Warner. So now they have at Mike Tatum Bethune, who's stepping in. This will be his second game after that. So actually we can go to PFF. Will kind of show us PFF can show us like the lineups, and they kind of aren't always accurate as to who's starting and who's where, but it can give us like a good visual of a layout of the game. So if we click on here, and so this shows the Texans are favored by 1.5. And then according to their rankings, again, take it however you want. Overall, they're 15th. We're 12th. Overall on defense, they're 17th. We're second. And I think that checks out. Power rank offense, they're 17th. We're 21st. So, yeah. Strength of schedule played, 18th for them, 13th for us. So, hey, I mean, this looks encouraging. And, I guess there's run. I wish I'd showed the defense, but anyhow, we will go to lineups. And on the lineups, this is the Texans offense versus their defense. So Renardo Green is their corner. Where is he from? FSU. Yeah, okay, I remember him. He's what year is he? Draft profile. When was he drafted? In 2024. So young corner out of Florida State, second round. Go back again. And so he is not graded very high. I don't know if we're going to do that. So you got an opportunity there. If that's accurate. Lenore, he's a name that we know. He's always talking shit. He's a former 5th-round pick out of Oregon. He is from, and that was, how long has he been on the Niners here? Does it say like his career? View career and premium stats. He's been in the league since 2021. He's been on the Niners the whole time. So, and his grade isn't great either. I mean, take it how you want. I'm just going to share it because it's what we got. But go back. And so it seems to be opportunities there. Just looking at it now, D-line, this is nothing like the Seahawks D-line. Nothing like it. We should be able to win this game just off my basic intuition right now that we should be able to run the ball against them. We should be able to do the bullshit offense that they want to do. And it should be a boring, slow game. We should be able to at least keep it close and allow our defense to win the game for us, is the way this looks. So their right edge is Garret Williams. And again, when you look at injury reports to make sure they're is he not on here? Let me see. View player page. And let's see. Total snap. Has he played? I just want to make sure these guys have played. Yeah, so he's been playing all year. And so he's their right edge. Nothing impressive. Their defensive tackle. This D-line is going to be a massive drop-off from what we just saw. And so Jordan Elliott out of Mizzou, out of 2020. I don't really know much about him. And again, too, Johnny Dills can kind of give us more on that. Kalia Davis, he is a 2022 6th-round pick out of UCF. Not graded very high. You got Sam Okuwayanu. That's a tough one. Undrafted out of Maryland, and not a great PFF grade. All red. I mean, Bethune is the only one with a green, and he's played one game as the backup filling in for Fred Warner. So, I mean, banged up defense, not graded well. Gifford, so they run it says 4-3 on here, which if it's the D'Amico Sala scheme, it should be a 4-2-5. But Luke Gifford, undrafted, 58. Winters out of TCU, 6th round. I mean, they got a lot of like non-highly drafted guys on here. 7th round Bethune out of FSU. Safety Jair Brown, 2023 3rd round out of Penn State. Decent, it looks like, pretty good. And then Marquez Siegley, 42. So I mean, it just sucks. Like if we could have found a way to win that Seahawks game, if offense just didn't suck so bad, there was a chance for us to win that game. And the Seahawks, now they're the best of the best. They are really good. It just sucks. And we're 2-4 instead of 3-3 with a chance to go 4-3. And now we're going 2-4 to hopefully go 3-4. But, this win, regardless, and for us too, and for them, if we do win against a 5-2 team, is not going to get any notoriety. And I guess it shouldn't, but like if we would have beaten the Seahawks, a big if, then this win, now it'd be like, okay, we've won 4 in a row. We're 4-3. We beat a 5-2 team, a 4-2 team. I know these are big ifs, But I really do feel like this initial, I know we're fresh off of this because it's Monday night. It stings to think that we can win a game, that we can score points on offense. This is a much better matchup. But there is a factor too of short rest, not only short rest Monday night, but fucking get done at the game's, 1 a.m. our time. And then you fly back from there, long travel and the time zone and the late game. So it's really like a Tuesday game. So they had a slow start with too much rest. They better not have a slow start with not enough rest. I mean, figure it the hell out. King Colby says he misses Joe Mixon. I do too. I mean, that's a big part of our offense too, is like the run game. Like, how much of this stuff does Joe Mixon fix? I mean, Nick Chubb's been good and effective, but like, he's not Joe Mixon. You wouldn't think, but and then you can change this defense based off of personnel. That's their nickel, which is probably their base. That would put Upton Stout in the game, who hasn't been graded good, but he is he trained with Ja'Cory One-Way. He was on here with me out of Western Kentucky in the 3rd round. So let's go to our defense. And I did notice that early in the game we did a 4-3 look. I'm sorry. Yeah, we did a 4-3 look with, was it a 4-3? We had Petrie in the high safety on one of them. So he was playing some high safety and he shot the gap. But their offense, Mac Jones been playing well, is graded well. I mean, better than Stroud so far is what the grades were. McCaffrey, same, which again, this is McCaffrey 74. We know he's fucking elite. He's 90.4 receiving grade. Jesus. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Pearsall, who may not play, who CJ Stroud loves. I think he's pretty dynamic. Jawan Jennings having, slightly below average year. Kendrick Bourne average to slightly above average year, according to the grades. And so they're banged up at receiver with Pearsall and obviously Ayuk. So Pearsall will be a big one for him. Kittle, we know Kittle. He is who he is. And so their O-line, according to the grades, tackle's pretty good. Left guard, right guard, not so good. Center, decent. So Danico Autry, that's the first thing that comes to mind. So they're weak at guard. Danico Autry, 3-tech, have a day. Turn them loose. More than 10 snaps. Tim Settle, Sheldon Rankins, Tommy Togiai, Mario Edwards. Make something happen. But also, I guess this helps too, is they are a wide zone team. And we just prepared 2 weeks for a wide zone team. And so we have a lot of reps at it. And I think that the other thing too is you can't just assume they're going to do that, because the Niners also went into the game against the Falcons and started running gap scheme and caught them off guard, and it was working. So you have to be ready for them to also make adjustments. So you can't afford for them to come out early in the game and start running between the tackles and be like, oh shit. And then now you're, giving up 14 points. So, but them having weak there, let's see what their run grades are, if they'll show it. Yeah, he's better run blocker than pass blocker. That left guard, Connor Colby, he's a 7th round pick, dude. So they got a 7th rounder out of Iowa as their left guard. And we got Matt Hennessy's a 2020 draft pick out of Temple in the 3rd round. And he's pretty solid all around. And we got Dominic Pooney. Is his name Pooney? Pooney. He is a 2024 3rd round pick out of Kansas. He's like slightly below average on both. McKivitz is Colton McKivitz, 2020 5th round pick. Pretty good tackle, right tackle. But I'll take that. I mean, I'd rather have their tackles be better to match up against Will and Daniil, and then the interior be lesser to match up against our interior. Trent Williams, obviously, he's playing well. So, yeah, I think that's it on the personnel side. We can kind of do a little bit of the next gen preview, and we'll be wrapping it up here soon. So JJ says, I fully expect if we come out flat on the first couple of offensive drives, the boos will start raining down and then the home field advantage will be completely lost. I agree, dude. I mean, and I'm part of those people that gets frustrated, but some people, rightfully so, get frustrated very easily. And that's what sucks, too, is like, the way they lost, they can't afford to have like an ugly win now and get favored back because, we're not going to be excited about it. And they could very well have some ugly bullshit win with offense, and they're going to be pounding their chests about it, which they should be happy for the win. But on the outside, public wise, it's going to look, not what we want. So, yeah, I mean, the narrative was for the Seahawks, but oh yeah, we've missed it. Which I mean, that only does stuff for us fans, but we saw what we saw too. So I mean, it is what it is. We're fucking 2-4. I mean, what are you gonna say? So looking at the game overall, points per game, Niners 20.7, 23rd, Texans 21.2, 21st. So I mean, not two really below average offenses. Point differential, we're still 7th and we're 2-4 at plus 39. They're plus 7 at 15th. Record in close games, they're 4-1 and we're 0-4 in close games. So this is what happened, is a reversion to the mean. Like, we were in a lot of close games first 2 years with the Miko, and I felt like our record was pretty good, like 600-700, and now it's terrible. So you would think eventually these games would kind of go back your way, but that will be determined. So, I mean, I guess that is an encouraging piece to hang on to. I guess the Seahawks game wasn't as close as the others, but hey, our average margin of victory is 30 because we only have 2. That's not really an important stat. Turnover differential, we are plus 4, which is 7th, and they are minus 5, 27th. So, yeah, that's a good look there. Total penalties, we're tied again. We were 4th last week, and now we're 8th with 44, and so are they. Over-under is 41.5. And so let's see. I'll kind of go through some of these little tidbits here. McCaffrey, a cool stat about him being a beast. Texans have the NFL's best scoring defense in 2025. It's now 14.7 points per game. Kyle Shanahan is 1-4 in his career as a head coach or offensive coordinator when facing the number 1 scoring offense in week 8 or later, including the playoffs. Is that a typo? You mean defense? So I think that is trying to say we have a matchup with our defense. And so this one talks about CMC's speed was average of 10.26 at the line of scrimmage. So basically the blocking was good. Had explosive runs. They were running between the tackles. Trent Williams versus Danielle Hunter. So since the start of 2024, Danielle Hunter, 17.8%, second highest, and Will Anderson Jr., 17.4%, fourth highest, have top 4 pressure rates among players with 300-plus pass rushes. Again, pressure rate now, we really don't know. However, Hunter generated a pressure on just 13.6% of his rushes this season, 5.5% lower than his 2024 mark. Hunter is lined up on the right edge, and 49ers left tackle Trent Williams allowed 10 pressures in week 1 against the Seahawks. That checks out. Seahawks D-line. 2 more than he's allowed in any game since at least 2018. Since then, he's allowed an 8.1% pressure rate, 13th lowest. So he had a tough matchup against them. Maybe hasn't played a good D-line since then. We'll see. And then we got 49ers offense versus Texans defense. 49ers use an under center formation on 63.6% of their plays in week 7 against the Falcons. Their highest rate in any game since 2019 and 9.5% more than any game since the start of 2022. As a team, they ran for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns on 31 carries under center, averaging 0.5 more yards per carry. And the Texans have allowed 3.5 yards per carry on under center runs, 7th fewest. However, they've allowed 6 such touchdowns, tied for 3rd most. So I think that correlates to them running the gap runs inside the tackles. And then Stroud has scrambled for 142 yards this season. He's now on pace to exceed his season high by 162. Wow. He has only accumulated 39 scramble passing yards this season. 39 scramble. Okay. On pace for less than 40% of his total. So what? That doesn't make any sense. He's scrambled for 142 yards this season. He's now on pace to exceed his previous season high by 162. He's only accumulated that's all jacked up. Advantages, passing, blue good for Texans, red. So our defense has advantage against their offense. Their defense has advantage against our offense. Is what it looks like. And in the passing, and then in the rushing, our defense has a lot of advantage against their offense, and then their defense too. So that's real quick some of the key ones. So we're great at play action. Our passing is number one against play action, number one against long passing, number one against passing versus no pressure, number one passing versus no blitz, number one overall passing efficiency, number one short passing, number 4 deep passing. We're 25th in passing versus pressure. That's the only 1-star advantage they have because they're number 22. So our pass defense is pretty solid. And then on the flip side for passing on our offense, they're 5, 11, 5, 11, 4. But then deep passing, they're 25. No play action, they're 20. And then overall, they're 16th. No blitz, 17th. No pressure, 21st. So, I mean, Salah's going to watch that tape with the Seahawks and do just what they did. So, I mean, we're going to have to figure that shit out. Stroud, Kalshi, receivers, O-line, everybody. Rushing. They're rushing under center 32nd outside the tackles. Their rushing offense sucks this year. Holy cow. Pretty much bottom of the league in every metric. Inside the tackle, red zone, shotgun, light box. And then we're like average to bottom third in rush defense. So, I mean, we still have the advantage. And then our rushing QB scrambles were number 7. That's a big – CJ Stroud needs to run more. That's like a big thing for us. So, and then under center, we're bad. Design runs, we're bad. Rushing side tackles, average. Versus light box, good. Shotgun, good. So that tells me 11 personnel, shotgun, run the ball. And they're pretty stout. So, I mean, this is going to be a defensive battle is what it looks like. But, yeah, so that's all I got. If y'all got any more questions, fire away while I kind of just maybe look over a couple things in the timeline to see if there's any important interviews I should share with you guys. If there's anything you want to see, let me know. This was hilarious. Let me share this. So, add a stage, share this instead. This was hilarious. Will Anderson Jr. is the first time he met Mac Jones.
Me and Mac Jones got an interesting story. My freshman year at Alabama, early in the road, and they were going through the 4th quarter program, and this is when he was announced the starter QB. And we had a little rough showing at first. We were walking around after doing our break, and I don't even know, he's always bleeding during 4th quarter somehow. And he walks up to me randomly, and he was like, "Stars don't fucking matter here." And that was like the first interaction we had. And I was like, this guy's a fucking dick, man. But ever since then, like, we've been cool, and I'm excited for him, man. I can't wait for this matchup.
He's a pretty funny dude. He seems kind of under.
Yeah, he always have his little corny jokes, and like he's a really good dude, man. I love Mac, man, and I enjoy playing with him. Me and Mac Jones got an interesting story. My freshman year at Alabama.
In there too, so yeah, that's pretty funny. That's Jaden Higgins, JSN on CJ Stroud. Here we go.
It's great to compete against my brother. It's great to win against him, honestly. But the relationship that we built is something that's special, something that I cherish. We'll cherish forever. And he just gets all the praise from me. Just a great person, a person that's a leader. And I'm definitely happy, of the man that he has becoming. And I'm just super excited. He has a lot of great things in his future. So just blessed to have him a part of my life. So it's awesome.
What did that game feel like?
Yeah, there's the points graphic. It's pretty crazy. Let's see, injury report. Yeah, it's basically Nico out with concussion and Christian Kirk again. Here's Leonard Williams basically saying like Mike McDonald owned the Texans.
And I think, even when we're making the plays out there on the field, there's times where we're running off the field and we're like congratulating Mike and saying, great call, because we understand that, there's times where he's understanding the game, he's understanding what the offense is going to do, and he's calling plays to set us up for success. And I think
what happened. Texans have a 34.1% chance to make the playoffs via CBS. And let's see, anything else in here? Here's D'Amico on the pass pro.
Everybody's on the same page, and also making sure the quarterback receivers are on the same page as well. I know a lot where protection goes to the O-line, and that's what, everybody sees it as the O-line, but it's everybody. Like, if we have to get the ball out because we're hot, we got to get the ball out. We got to find our hot answers. If we have a hot route, we got to make sure we're running the route the right way. So it's all encompassing. It's easy to just say, oh, the O-line didn't pick this up, but everybody has to be on the details.
CJ's taking a lot more responsibility, or was given to him.
Receivers and quarterback
to identify that pressure. How do you think he's doing pre-snap and identifying pressures and audibles and stuff?
Yeah, it's not from a matter of identifying what we're doing with the pressure. I think we're identifying it well. It's just how are we executing after the ball is snapped. That's the main thing.
So it's post snap. That's quarterback and receiver.
Sure everybody's on the same.
Knowing where the blitz is, throwing it to it, and the receiver. I think it's mostly receivers not being there. Anything else? I think that's good, fellas. I enjoyed the conversation. As always, follow me on all socials. Please like, subscribe, all of them: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, website, free newsletter, HoustonStresses.com. I will try and have an article out soon, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Until next time, we blessin'.